Good morning, students. My name is Mandeep Singh, and I'm SST teacher, and I'm teaching in a California public school. First of all, I hope you all are fine and stay blessed. And the request to you, please stay at home because of the threat of disease COVID-19, and teachers are very hard worker and they are doing everything for your study, and please learn it carefully. So students, in first lecture of the second chapter of history class 7th, medieval Europe has been delivered, but now I'm on a second lecture. Okay, in the first lecture you have learned about the decline of the Roman Empire, barbarian invasions, and factors of decline such as economical and political. And today we will learn about the Byzantium Empire in the medieval Europe. Okay, so now turn to the next lecture. So Byzantium, today we will learn about the Byzantium birth of a new empire. So Byzantine is also known as Byzantium. So these the both names of a one empire. And Byzantium is called so that because of this is the capital of the Byzantine Empire. Okay, so we have learned that in the previous chapter that the Roman Empire was divided into two parts. First is Eastern Roman Empire and second is Western Roman Empire. Okay, so this empire, Byzantium Empire or Byzantine Empire, is also known as Eastern Roman Empire. Now you have three names of one empire. First is Eastern Roman Empire, second is Byzantine, third is Byzantium Empire. Okay, so Byzantium is the capital of this empire because these all are one empire. Okay, so Byzantium capital of the Byzantine or Byzantium Empire or Eastern Roman Empire is Byzantium. Okay, this is the capital city of this empire. So this was renamed in 330 CE. Okay, is Byzantium name of this city. Byzantium name is converted into Constantinople in 330 CE. Right? You have to keep this thing in your mind. Now, question that who has renamed this? This was renamed. This name Byzantium name renamed by the Constantine I. Okay, so this empire, he was the Roman emperor, and he changed the name of Byzantium into the Constantinople. Okay, so that's why the Byzantium is called Constantinople, right? So now, when the Byzantium Empire was made, so that time he faces a number of problems. So one of the main such problem is inventions of barbarian tribes. Okay, so these barbarian tribes also known as Germanic group. Germanic group. Sorry, I have forgot to write here R. Okay, so that's why I have written here. So Germanic tribes or Germanic groups such as Goths, Vandals, etc. Right? They invaded the whole Roman Empire so deeply, and they also looted the Rome, capital of the Western Roman Empire. Okay, so this is the Byzantium Empire, and I hope you have learned about this. Now there are such things more about the Byzantine Empire or Byzantium Empire or the Eastern Roman Empire. Okay, and so now we will learn about the art and culture. Okay, in art it produced a rich tradition of Roman art and literature, right? So Byzantine Empire produced us rich traditions of Roman art and literatures. In Roman art we can see the charts, mosaics, icons. Okay, In church, the number of type of arts were made by the Byzantium people, right? So their interior arts, exterior arts is so watchable. Okay, you can find the pictures of Roman art literature on your uh, on Google. Okay, so mosaics also a design made of small pieces of colored stones or glasses. Okay, this is the such a type of we can say art in which the one picture firstly draw and after that it is filled with the small pieces of colored stones and colorful glasses. So it seems so beautiful, and you can also learn about it from the Google. Okay, you can see the number of pictures. When you will put the mosaics, it will also show some pictures, right? So mosaics are the designs in which small stone, colorful stones also filled, as well as colorful glass is also filled there to increase the popularity of art and craft. Okay, and these are so beautiful. Okay, so now icons, firstly you already know about charts because in the interior and exterior designs are so good. Then mosaics, designs made of small pieces of colored stones and glasses. Now icons, I these are a conventional religious paintings. These are conventional means traditional religious painting. Okay, these all paintings are made with the help of oil colors on a small wooden panel, right? So in art and craft charts, they made number of charts, built number of charts, then they made mosaics, then also they made icons, right? Now apart from this, they have also preserved, Byzantium people also preserved Roman legacies in Punjabi I want to say ਕੁਛ ਕੁਝ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਵਿਰਾਸਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਮਿਲਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਸੋ ਆਈ ਕੈਨ ਸੇ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਅ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨਲ ਥਿੰਗਸ these all are legacies are traditional things got from the last emperor. Okay, if I am an emperor, then I will got some things, I will get some things from my father, right? Then I will keep it or I will preserve it for a long time. So the legacy, they did not flourish only Roman art and literature, but they also preserved the Roman legacies. So now in literature, number of gospels were written there. Okay, number of books were written there, holy books, teachings of Jesus. These all things also preserved by the Byzantium Empire. Okay, so you have learned that Roman legacies. Okay, these are traditional things which one empire got from the last empire. Sorry, these are the traditional things one emperor got these from the last emperor. Okay, so this is the art and culture of the Byzantium Empire. So now spread of Christianity. Firstly, we have learned about the birth of Byzantine Empire, then art, Roman art, literature, and legacies we have learned. Now, spread of Christianity. Okay, so firstly, Roman Empire started to devolute. Okay, the devolution of the Roman Empire. On the one side, there is a devolution of Roman Empire. Devolution means Roman Empire just is on end. Okay, the devolution of Roman Empire has started one side. Then one side, the spread of Christianity is increasing. The spreading of Christianity is increasing day by day. Now, why this was spreading in a very mannerful ways in we can say in a short period of time, right? So Firstly, Roman Empire, Roman Church. Roman Church play a great important role in the spread of Christianity, right? This Roman Church also unifying forces in Europe. Okay, they also make a unity in the all people in the all countries of Europe, right? So now, due to the Roman Church, Germanic tribes did not damage the Church of Rome, right? So Germanic tribes, who are also known as the barbarian people, okay, they invaded the whole Rome Empire, but they did not damage the Church of Rome, okay. Now, what is the main significance of the Church of the Rome is that it has a spiritual power on all Christians. Okay, if the Christians were facing any type of problem, then they got together under the Church of Rome and they solved their all matters and also plays an important role of a spiritual power. Okay, now then every state adopted Christianity under the influence of the Church of Rome. Every state means every country in the Europe adopted the Christianity as the state religion. Okay, so there are number of countries in Europe whose state religion is Christianity, and there is are also a country Nepal, but now Nepal considered himself as a secularism country, but 2 or 3 years ago it was also a one religion country. That religion was okay, that was also one religion country. So that's why there are number of countries in Europe whose state religion is Christianity. Okay, so now after Roman Church is becoming more famous day by day. Okay, so feudal lords also influenced by the Roman Church, and they adopted this religion. Christian religion also adopted by the feudal lords. Feudal lords are those people who are landlords. Okay, they have control on the all things or activities of the agriculture and trade, etc., right? And these are also keeping some forces to assist the Roman emperor in the difficult times or in the wars. Okay, so feudal lords adopted this religion. When the feudal lord adopted this religion because of the popularity of Roman Church or Church of Rome, and their subjects also followed the Rome Church. Subjects means their followers of feudal lords, their servants, the people who are in touch with the feudal lords. These all are known as subjects. Okay, so due to joining of the feudal lords, the publicity or the significance of Roman Church has increased. Okay, so now there is a one main reason after the to spread the Christian religion, that is the monks. Okay, so monks traveled so far in the each corner of the world or in the Europe, and they spread the teachings of Jesus or spread this religion very carefully. So that's why now most of the countries has adopted the Christian religion, right? So now for the facilities of monks, number of monasteries were built. Monasteries were those places where monks lived and preached the teachings of Jesus, right? So in these places, they also delivered the teachings to the followers, to the people, right? And the monks who went to the different corners of the world also lived in these monasteries. Okay, so I can say that monasteries played an important role in the spreading of Christian religion, right? So now, so apart from this, there is a one more reason for the spreading of the Christian religion is that grand church, okay, grand church, grand churches were built in every city of Europe to spread the Christian religion. Okay, so I want to explain again that what were the main reasons of the spread of Christianity. First is Roman Church, right? It is unifying the forces in all Europe, right? And Germanic tribes did not damage the Church of the Rome because of the publicity, because of the significance of Roman Church, right? All Roman Church has all the spiritual powers on all Christians. That's why this is also one of the main reason of the spreading of Christian religion. Now, the main reason is also is that every state adopted this religion as a state religion in Europe. Okay. Apart from this, feudal lord also joined this religion with their subjects such as servants, such as their workers, their soldiers, etc. So feudal lords are those people who were landlord and also keeping some numbers of soldiers to assist the Roman Emperor in the difficult times such as wars. Okay, and then Christian monks spread the religion. This is also the one of the main reason behind the spreading, behind the publicity of Christian religion, right? So monks traveled so far in the Europe and they spread the whole teachings of Christian religions or the teachings of Jesus to the all people. Now monasteries were built. Monasteries were those places where monks were stayed there and monks lived there. Okay. In monasteries they also give some teachings to their followers and to the people. Okay. And they also learned about the Christian literature in these monasteries. Okay. So now grand churches also built because these were built because of the spreading of the Christian religion. Okay, the all emperor want to spread the Christian religion in the all corner of the Europe. That's why they built a grand church in the whole all countries of Europe. Right. So students, this is your second lecture and I hope you have learned a number of things, and if you are not understanding, please watch this video again and again. And one request is that please subscribe my channel. When you will subscribe my channel, then you will understand, you will get the notification of the next lecture. It will be easy for you, and I hope you have understood this in a mannerful way. If you are not understanding, then please watch this video again and again, and if any question you have, then please write in the message box. Okay, and I will notify it and give you the specific answer to you. Thank you so much for cooperation.